Is everyone able to get the notes?
Yes, I'm on the notes. I'm making a copy to
No,
save the
don't
template.
make a copy. No, absolutely don't make a copy. We
Okay.
have a template for a reason because we're always updating the template. You always use the template. So on the info tab of the notes, if you go to line 24, there's the list of all template spreadsheets. So every single notes they've ever had has the link to all the templates.
Good.
Okay, so they're very easy to find.
Thank you, Jay.
Yes. And you always use the template. You do not use a previous note. You do not use a copy of notes. If you do that, it's against policy.
Okay.
And it's very obvious why that is the case.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Because it just creates a lot of confusion when you start using previous notes and then they're all messed up and it's all, different. Then you update the template and you don't use the updated version. It's just a big mess. And then most importantly is that when you stop using the template, then you don't know the difference between the old and the new. And then you start editing the old notes. And then that's a huge problem. Then you lose information because you're deleting past information. It's just a disaster.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's go into our check-ins. So we're finally, actually, before we do our check-ins, let's go to setup. No, info? Yes, info. Attendance. So line 12 through 20. So all of us are late, and we are starting 10 minutes late. And that is myself, Alex, and Lucy. Okay, that makes sense?
Okay.
Right, because in order to start on time, we all actually have to start
on time.
Okay. So let's go into our check-in. So I guess I'll start. Also, we're required to do our statements. So
what we talked yesterday?
No, our statements for half pay stop.
But you pasted, you wrote a statement 1 hour ago approximately.
I know, but our policy is that everybody has to do it for main sessions. So if it's a buddy team, you just do it in writing. And if it's a main session, you do it in writing for the day for your general work. But the main session, we always do it at the beginning of the main session to remind us that at the beginning of the main session that we are on half pay stop. Okay? So in the past, we've had it many times where, nobody will do the updates on Discord, or maybe one person does it and then the whole session goes by. And at the end of the session, people are like, oh, what? We're on half pay stop. And people just don't even realize what's going on, So anyways, the whole point of our statements is to make sure that people know what's going on and that everybody understands what the priorities are for the half pay stop and then working to get off of it in real time in the moment. Otherwise, people just forget about it. Anyway, so I am willing to work on half pay stop. We will cover what they are shortly, but I believe we're still dealing with the taxes as well as other things. And get the back pay instead. So overall, I am a 2.4. And I have been working on the recruitment, some of the assets or POS. I've been working on ACU, been working on Alpha, been working on some finances, sponsorship, lots of stuff. Even some fundraising. Voice audio. So I'm obviously doing all the above communications, and it's 1x daytime. Cool. Who wants to check in next?
I'm checking in. I'm in 6. I have been working also in recruitment yesterday in the Garrison scope. Garrison.
You got the notes.
Scope. What?
You can take notes.
You're writing. Okay. And I wanted to yesterday see the assets, but we changed our scope for obvious reasons.
Recruitment. Yeah.
And no, the healthcare budget was last week. I have my notes. The management The management statement update, I think it's the name.
Yep.
Yes, I have been working on that. And voice audio text computer. I'm on my computer. Voice audio. One one time a day.
Yeah, it's 1x day until 9 p.m. is when overtime starts.
Then it's still one X.
All right. Let's go to Lucy.
Yes, um, 3.5. I've been working on reminders and also budget, recruitment budget with Alex. I don't know what is not right. And also today, I also do updating deadlines.
Did you do that by yourself or with anyone?
No, I just do by myself. I just send the deadline reminders. I don't know whether it's the right, but I arrange the way.
Well,
Okay.
I definitely like Lucy, your leadership and your just jumping in and doing work. Like, never a problem coming in and doing what you can. Making mistakes is perfectly fine. Obviously, we'll continue to let you know, and you'll just continually get better. So great, great, great. All right. So anything else, Lucy, or are we ready to go on to our focus and topics?
Nothing else for now. Just ready to go start the session.
Okay. So, I mean, this is a contentious session, but we obviously have other priorities. So, general eval, contentious situation, pay stop deadlines. So, some of the most important topics I can think of is kind of like an overview of our current, or our, how would you say, I'll just say contentious situations and status. And then we have obviously the real-time session policies, super duper important. We have Alberto's probation, which we don't really need to worry about too much because it's past, but it's good to note that it's ongoing. And then we have all of our deadlines. So let's check our list of deadlines briefly. All right. We have our leadership link here. Here we go, leadership. All right. So we have partnership taxes, fortnight bills, verification, management status report, deadlines updating. Did we actually get the management status report completed? No. Cool. All right. So those are the main 1, 2, 3, 4. But then there's also a couple other ones that we want to prioritize here, which is basically our recruitment and our quarterly bills and the taxes. Finalizing the taxes. So, and there's certainly plenty of other deadlines and priorities that we have. Lots and lots and lots of stuff going on this week. So, basically silent work could be a high priority as well. And getting focused on some work. Actually, getting these half pay stops done, addressed. So, and or upfront pay stops. All right. So I don't know. What do other topics people want to prioritize? Are there other, goals, interests, questions, ideas, anything else?
Personally, I would like to have a summary maybe on the policies. The policies. So
What
because
policies?
I don't know, maybe the most broken ones.
Have you seen that training? We have a training that's literally the policies that are broken the most often.
Okay. No, I haven't seen it, but I would like to. The other day I wrote a couple
It
of
should
things.
be linked from your main doc, but I will find it real quick and link it here.
Okay.
Policies broken most often. All right, I linked that there. Anything else?
I'm checking my notes. Templates done. I would like also to see maybe if it's because it's not, well, whatever. The filling of the hour tracking spreadsheet.
The work hours tracking spreadsheet
Yeah.
for you?
Yes.
Okay. And is there, just to kind of go over it and understand it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Very important. Any other topics, Lucy?
Yes. I would like if we can go through the executive priority status report update. And also related to
Why do you want to go through the executive priority status update?
I just want to know if maybe I can help on that in case.
Okay, so that would be VA work, so you just schedule for that.
Okay. What about worker involvement criteria verification?
Well, I can add you here to the list. So if you want to step up to help with the executive priorities, you can. You just need to schedule with me on that. And typically we do that Cobalt Monday, Tuesday, but we can schedule other times too, or prioritize it other times. What were you saying? Do you want me to add your name or not?
You can add my name.
Okay. What were you saying beyond that?
What about this FBN related to publication? What is it all about?
We just need to do a publication for the fictitious business names that we set up. So this is just scheduling and even async coordination of just making sure that work is done. This is again also VA work. So, but it's very easy. We can also set up the responsibility organizing so other people can do it in the future. But if you're interested in helping on that, that'd be great.
I can try.
All right. Yeah, it's just mainly scheduling. So I'll add your name there too, and we can make this yellow. Since at least we have one person. We like to always have at least two people for everything, and then some of the more involved things we want to have more. And obviously anything with Alberto right now, he's kind of MIA. So yeah. Okay, any other topics for now?
Yeah, at least for now. Not that I can think of.
What about on other? Those are just other priorities. We have invoicing. What is it all about? Internal operation.
Yeah, so invoicing is how we bring in money, right? So if we don't do invoicing, we don't get paid. right? So there's payrolls when we send the money out to pay everybody, and invoicing is when we bring the money in. So invoicing is like asking the clients for money to pay us. So we just add up all our hours, we estimate our total value and costs to the client, and then we send them the invoice, and then they pay us. Are you interested in working on that? It's very, very important. It's one of our most important responsibilities for sure, as far as running a business. Yeah. So I should add your name?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll keep it orange because it's so important. We want many people working on that. But yeah, so I mean, these are all of our list of priorities that are not deadlines, that are just extremely important. We can't really ignore them. So it's like, we got to do it anyways, right? So this includes our team scheduling, which you've been helping on, Lucy, and you've been actually doing a very good job. So, you know, I think we already gave you gold start for like at least an hour or two. And then team scheduling, leadership coordination, we're doing that right now. We have to do our main sessions, which we're doing, including the contentious situation sessions. So the contentious situation is definitely not a top priority. So these are things that we should continue, but we can skip if we want to. All right. So yeah.
Yeah, before you continue, I request if maybe there is a main doc, like before we have project virtual drawers that has all the project. Do we have anything different from now, where if somebody want to work, you can access all the documents on in one place?
Well, that's going to be what we call our virtual office. To be able to access all documents in one place will be our virtual office, which obviously we don't have yet, but we're going to prioritize that and make it. But as far as like knowing all of the work is available in the management status report, right? So, I mean, we should have the manager status report linked here somewhere, right? Manager status report right here. So link the management status report into line 25. So the management status report update has the list of all of the work. From there, basically, you know, we have all of our documents in the Google folder. Like the way I usually find documents is I just search, right? So if I'm looking for the management status report, I can search for the management status report spreadsheet, and then that should come up right here. See, right there? And it's correctly owned by an FQN account. So the way that you access all these documents is you go to the primary document, which is the Global FQN Community Network folder. So Global Community Network folder, and then I can just make sure that it's shared with whoever wants access to it. So we have Alberto, we got America's Workers, we got Joyce, we've got, I believe, Bor, I think that's Ate, FQN. Okay, so basically WCA group. I don't know what this one is. We can get rid of this one. Remove. All right. So anyways, if you want to add your email, I can stop screen sharing. Just put your email into the chat, and then I can add your email so you have access to all of our documents. It's going to be very difficult to find any documents, so you should still ask us what document you are asking for, right? But it'll at least give you the ability to find everything that you need. Okay, does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, makes sense.
So Alex and Lucy, do you want to put your emails here? We can invite you to all of our documents so you have access to them.
Yes.
And just to remind you, deleting any document is against policy. So always just link. And I'm assuming that Lucy, you probably had access to all these before, but then we just removed you. And again, all of these are public documents. There's nothing that's not public about them, but at least it's accessible now. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Cool. So now you can, like, once you get the shared thing, you can search through all of our folders and documents and then, try to find something. It's a big mess. It's not like organized in a specific way like it will be once we have a virtual office. So the best way to find a document is through the responsibility organizing link or through, another document. Like, for example, the management spreadsheet, the management status report has links to a lot of stuff, right? So if you can see here in column G where the priorities are, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 links. So eventually we can link everything just right into the management status report. Okay. Cool. And there's other ways of finding things. And again, eventually we'll get the whole like virtual office setup. All right. Any other questions?
No, not at all. Well, not at all. No, not at this moment.
No question.
Oh, also, it would be good to note that under our internal operations, one of the internal operations we do the least work on, we never do, is our documentation. So documentations is very important. It's making sure that everything is correctly owned, that the documents are organized in the right place, like we could do the virtual office. All those things are under our internal operations for documentation. That also includes backups. So we're supposed to be downloading and backing up all of our files and documents and making sure everything is secure. And of course, we're not doing that. So it's just very important priority that we need to do because, if we gave someone access to our documents and they deleted them all, we would lose everything. It would be a disaster.
Yeah.
But the reason why
sorry guys, I had the internet issue. Sorry about that.
Okay. But the reason that's probably not a big deal is because if they don't own the document, they can't delete them, and so we everything should be secured like double, triple possible. But it's still good to have an extra backup of everything.
Yeah.
All right, Mamoon, you want to check in?
Yeah. Okay. I'm at 3. I've been working on payroll worker criteria and the deadlines. Check.
Cool. Oh, look, Alberto is communicating. How exciting. So, Mamoon, did you say that you're working on deadlines?
Yeah.
All right, let's make sure your name is there. Deadlines updating. So right now it just says Lucy. So you want to work with Lucy on that?
I have no problem.
Excellent. All right, Alberto says, hey, sorry I was busy. Sorry for not giving updates about this. I am sorry, but I was working nevertheless. Okay. All right, so let's go on to all right, so topics, focus, desired outcomes. Also, it looks like we missed our break. So we need to get the we need to get this going on here. And so let's take a 5-minute break, and then we can get focused on our topics and desired outcomes. I think maybe what we'll need to do here is just vote on everything and just try to figure out what we want to prioritize. So that could be a good step here. To kind of decide, like, do we just want to work on silent work? Do we want to work on deadlines? Do we want to work on something else, right? So let's just, I definitely want to get into recruitment later for sure, but we can just go ahead and start voting here, you know, and get some clarity on what we want to do. So we're gonna take a 5-minute break. People want to vote, they can, and then go that. I am asking if you're having contentious session. I just did 3 hours 5 seconds since the eval coordinator. Again, I did not coordinate that same time. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna take a break. If you want to vote on the different possible topics or add additional topics, you can do that. And then we'll just see what the priorities are and go from there.
Okay. We'll vote and go for the break.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Okay.
Time to stretch. Please stop. Stand up and stretch and move around 30 seconds.
Alberto, do you want to check in?
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Alberto.
Hey, Alex. Alex, tell me that the asset session happened yesterday.
We did half.
Yeah.
No, we just did half
I
of
didn't.
that. Overall
Oh.
POS planning.
Okay. Why only
And then
half
we
a
worked on,
session?
and then we worked on recruitment for like an hour, and we worked on the. We prioritized recruitment, and we prioritized the worker status management report. Yeah.
Worker status management.
Yeah. So we got lots of work done, even though we purposely did not work on assets. Well, we did a half session on assets. We we did POS
Quite good, but
organizing.
the session happened though. That's what.
Yeah, the session did happen.
Great, great. Okay.
So if we weren't on multiple half pay stops and looming upfront pay stops, we would have worked on assets. And then also we prioritize recruitment because it's specifically an upfront pay stop.
Yes.
And it's the only upfront pay stop that's really like looming that we like. I'm not too worried about the taxes and that's something that it would be good if you wanted to work on. Anyways, we'll talk about that.
I want to, and yeah. Okay. So let me check in very quickly. I don't want to take more time. I'm late, so I'm gonna give a. $4.12, and I've been working on MMI. So we work it, but not me, myself, and I.
Oh, I see you.
Yeah, not really see, but yeah, it's part of the see.
It's the practice.
It starts from the practice. Yeah, you need to be able to master the practice. Be working on what's coming next. Right. So I sent a couple of snippets. One is about 45 minutes long. They're public, they're official. So, watch that. Be my guest. After the last snippet, I kept going without recording and stuff. So, and I had to rest. So I rested. Round back. So here I am now, ready to have fun. And so, yeah, let's see.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Let's keep going. So
all right. So Alberto, if you want to vote on anything, we are voting on our priorities and whether or not we want to do topics or if we want to do focus on the deadlines and the work. So if you want to vote, now is your chance.
Yes.
Based on our voting, I would prioritize the real-time session policies and Alex.
Yes.
And then we could consider breaking up. There was one other thing I forgot to add. What was it? Oh yeah. Deadlines for functionality and stable finding.
I made a mistake.
I like that one.
What would be the desired one for Alex?
Working on his work hours tracking spreadsheet. Just a review of his work hours tracking spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm. Finances.
I feel like the all client plan could be a kind of cool topic as well.
Yeah.
Because that will help us a lot. It is actually one of our deadlines for functionality. Look at that, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well. Are there any other topics that you want to suggest, Alberto?
To me, the only topic that I was gonna suggest today is the real-time policies. So I think
Okay,
they're
so
there.
that seems like the priority. So let's just start with the real-time session. Actually, I would start with Alex personally because Alex is a person. Alex, you
I
can.
have a question though. Can I make a question?
Yeah.
See, there are high votes on the overview of our contentious situations. So I understand that it's important, but overall, I don't understand why everybody is doing such a high vote. Because I mean, what I want to say is that we have a lot of next steps. We have a lot of work to do on the contentious in general to get our team together, to put our team together, to get our team to be efficiently and in harmony. But why so high? I mean, there's no contentious going on, from my understanding at the moment. There's no contention. We're all
Please stop and get ready.
good,
Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
Well, for me, it's like Lucy. I voted the highest, so it's like Lucy's brand new, giving her update. Alex is pretty new, like making sure people are kind of on the same page of what is going on. This is the contentious situations session. The real-time session policies are basically our most important outcome for the contention, right? So
Okay, thank you.
the real-time session policies are part of our contentious situations in terms of solutions, right? So
Yes.
so anyway, it's all related, but that's the main thing, is just giving people an update and kind of making sure there's not questions about it, and some of the what that's something. We have a scheduled session every single week at this time for contentious situations, so it's pretty obviously a significant portion of our team.
Yes. Okay, I get it. Thank you.
But I have no problem I mean, we're already prioritizing
Real-time session.
a bunch of things. We're prioritizing recruitment over that. We're prioritizing partnership taxes over that. So, I mean, I don't think we're going to be talking about the contentious situations.
Yes,
so even though
yes.
we're voting pretty high on them, there's still things that are much higher, including
Yes.
the all client plan is coming up pretty high too. So Alex, Lucy, Mamoon, if you want to vote on the all client plan, you can as a priority. All right. So anyways, I would personally, I would say we do Alex first, but based on our just decision making, let's just like a real time policies first, and then we can do Alex second. And then what is? Oh yeah. Okay. And then we do view that. Is that good?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes.
Love it.
So real time session policies could take a little while. Let's say 24 to 48 minutes. And then Alex
Yeah.
didn't take very long. Let's say 6 to 12 minutes.
I agree with you, though. We should prioritize people first. So I would switch Alex first and then real-time session policy.
Does anyone have any objections to doing Alex first?
No, Alex doesn't have an objection to going in first.
Good to know. Thank you.
And I just want to start by saying that every worker is responsible for their own responsibilities and their own priorities in their work assignments. This is extremely
Time
important.
to
So
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So it's very important that, Alex, that you are prioritizing yourself and bringing up your work priorities. That's exactly the correct thing to do. All right.
I have a question, though, Jay.
Yeah.
I when I jumped on, I didn't hear any recording going on, any live stream going on. So I don't know. Are we recording?
It says stop live.
I'm gonna get.
I'm going to the channel right now, live. It says we are live with the contentious situation. So it looks good. I'm going to copy and paste to the info tab so everyone can look at the live stream.
Yes, great. Okay, thank you, Jay.
Regarding that,
verify that. What?
Regarding that, regarding the record, um, if I every time we have a BT or any session, someone has to record, right?
That's our policy. Our policy is that there's always
Okay.
a recording, and we're proposing a policy that there should always be 2 recordings.
Okay.
Backup.
And it doesn't matter if it's live stream or record.
No, it does not matter. Although for our main sessions, our policy is basically to live stream all our main sessions, right? But obviously, buddy team work sessions, there's no need to live stream. Typically, the main priority for live streaming would be for training. Like if we're trying to record and get on YouTube a training video, that is a good time to do live stream. And then also sometimes it's just easier to do live stream on YouTube than deal with other recordings. Like YouTube recording systems are one of the more simple ones. So Joyce prefers that over everything else. So she always does YouTube live stream.
Good. Good.
Typically with
And
no video, right? She'll just do YouTube live streaming with only audio sometimes. Yeah. So anyways, it's up to each person. Again, that's a separate topic, which would be our recording options. And we do have a link. So if you go either into setup or info, there is usually a link to recording options. I think you have to just go into maybe the position stock. If you go into the position roles, one of the position roles is the audio video indexing, and that's kind of describes the options for recordings.
excellent. Thank you. Let's take
Willie.
note of that.
All right, so topic 1 is going to be Alex. We are going to get into that in just a minute, but we're going to take a quick 6-minute break first. Any other questions about our recordings or priorities or anything else?
Yeah, so I can do human timekeeping if we want to.
Okay, yeah, we can do our positions.
Time
Yeah.
to take a break. Please stop, write down whatever you were about to say, and take a break for 6 minutes.
So I can help with the facilitation. I don't know if anyone can also help with note taking. So Alberto, you said you want to do the human timekeeping?
Human timekeeping, yeah. I'm setting it up now.
Okay, so Moon's gonna start with the org support, so I can turn mine off. Audio video expecting, I'm helping with that. Cool. So if you want to sign up for other,
I'm gonna help with notes as well, and
cool.
And the priority work.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, we're gonna focus on Alex. Alex, if you can link your work hours tracking spreadsheet, that'd be very helpful.
Good. I have it here.
Okay, break is good.
End
It's
of
4
break.
o'clock.
Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
All right. You sure it's not a minute early? Alberto, are you there?
Yes. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a bit early. Sorry.
Back.
I wasn't mine. That's why. I don't think. No. Sorry. It was mine. It was a minute early. Yeah. Correct. Let me fix that.
All right. So we still have 30 seconds. But if Alex is back, we can get started. Alex. No, Alex. Okay. And if anyone has Alex's work hours tracking spreadsheet, although maybe we should do this if he doesn't have the link himself.
I do it. I have it because I created it for him.
Yeah, so we could just say if you don't have it, we're gonna skip this because he should have his own work hours tracking.
Not started, but he has it on his main doc as well. So.
Wherever it's supposed to be. That for me is step one. I mean, the whole idea here is getting him organized.
End of break.
I agree.
Did you link this or did Alex link it?
I did. I just did.
Right. So if it was me, I probably wouldn't link it and force him to do it. But anyways, let's see what we
Wait
got.
for Alex.
Anything hours, anything that doesn't fit priority. General communications, updating yourself on what is going on. Organized. Essential work, weekly work.
Alex, you're back. See, no, I'm curious as well if you can link it. I deleted it now.
Okay.
Can
Here.
you link your tracking hour spreadsheet, Alex, please?
Yes.
Can you link your working hours tracking spreadsheet, please? Work hours tracking spreadsheet.
This is not the
This is
spreadsheet.
what I don't know what you're talking about.
We're on topic one, Alex. Topic one, Alex.
Yes. On line 5, column K, I link the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Okay, I don't see it. Topic one, Alex.
No. Wait. I left it on desired topics. Here it is. There it is.
Perfect. Alex.
Line 3, column D.
All right. Good.
Okay, so do you have any questions for starters? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. How? I understand the week of the new moon and the moon phase. That I understand that I just have to look at I can look it on moongiant.com and see what moon phase we're on, so I can put that. The question I have is how to fill in for the priority work. For example, if let's take an example, well, maybe recruitment as yesterday, I should put it on line 7 according to the moon phase, correct?
So it's currently the week of the last quarter moon. So, for example, if you did, an hour and a half on recruitment, you would do 1.5 hours like that on recruitment.
Okay.
You just put it in your max base hours. And then if you did more than an hour and a half, then you would put that under additional equity hours.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Good. And if in my time I did it after 9 p.m., I'll go to overtime, right?
Correct. But let's say you did it overtime. So let's say it's 1.5 hours and you did an additional hour. So if you did a total of 2.5 hours, it would look like that, right? So it'd be 1.5 hours max base place plus an additional hour of equity. And then if that was overtime, you would put an additional 1 under overtime hours, because if one of those 2.5 hours was overtime, you would do that. If a half an hour was double overtime, then you would do that. So you double put your hours. So all of your hours go in A, B, and AC columns, right? And then your overtime hours are just in addition to. Okay?
Good. Okay. And here on the other columns that say by back pay. No, I don't have to fill that. Okay. Okay, I think it was just that. So according to the work I did, I'm just gonna look over the priority and put the time on work on that, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
Easier.
under our policies, you're required to track your hours
Yes.
daily, basically, right? Of all your hours. But we're really bad at that overall. We don't prioritize that per se. So, eventually we'll be doing more and more policy tracking for people not tracking their hours. But the bottom line is that to get paid, you do not need to track your hours. You only need to estimate your hours. And basically, we're trying to push for people to estimate their hours weekly. And we also have the weekly, you're actually paid to do your weekly check-ins every single week, which is line 2. Oh, no, line 5. Number 2. Okay, so anyways, what is your position?
No.
Your paid position.
No. My pay position.
Yeah.
I am asset coordinator.
Okay. So let's also just need budgets.
It's kind of now it's more like post support coordinator, isn't it? Or assets coordinator is still something different.
Time
Post
for
support
breath.
coordinator.
Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
Is it not?
I don't know. Let's not worry about it now. The position's called the assets coordinator. It doesn't matter the priority.
Okay.
Matters, but
yeah.
But originally it said it had monthly budget and payroll separate, which didn't make a lot of sense. But we could add a section on like you were involved in the reporting, so like half year reporting, and budgeting, right? Monthly budgeting. So we could add that as an extra thing if you're interested in continuing to work on that, the budgeting and the finances and all that.
Okay.
We could also add invoicing to that too. Have your budgeting and invoicing. And then we have payrolls, monthly payrolls. Okay, cool. So anything else that we need to add? Any other priorities or anything?
I think it's good for now.
I think it's also good.
Cool. All right. So anyways, we'll review again as
needed. Okay. So are we good on this topic?
Yes, it was easier than I thought. I mean, one week of difference.
Simpler.
It looks very simpler now.
Simpler, yeah.
Oh yeah, once you actually get started, you're just focusing on 1 week at a time, and again, under our policies, you just have to estimate, right? But it's good to note that all of these calculations is for your own information.
Benefit.
What? Because it's for your own information so that you can kind of keep track and understand sort of what's going on in relationship to your base pay and your equity and your back pay and your value and everything. But this is not payroll. When we do payroll, we actually calculate your actual pay, your actual hours. This is just like an estimate. Okay?
Yeah. Now I can paste my notes here into the spreadsheet.
Exactly. And just go through all the past weeks as well and estimate it all out. Even from when before you were hired, you can even put in your additional equity hours, even though you don't get base pay for that. And then the day you got
time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Awesome. All right, so let's go into the next topic.
Yes.
Yeah,
Topic 2. Does
creating
anyone
that.
do the tab?
I'm creating the tab.
Okay. So we're doing real-time session policies. Boom. Oh god. Oh, I guess it's fine. No, no, it's not fine. All right. So the way I want to start this is I kind of want to review the work we did before. So if I go to my real-time session policies tracking spreadsheet, I can see here that we have 3. This will be the 4th session. God, why did I do that? This will be the 4th session that we are working on. Yeah, the 4th session. Okay. So today is Wednesday, Thursday, September 13, 14. Okay. And we are copy the link. And this is also a contentious situation. Right, so this is our 4th session. So I'm going to go ahead and open our previous session when we worked on this, because I believe that it has some important information, and this is the information I'm looking for right here. So this is our list of priorities. So we prioritized all of this. We voted on it. So, we can add some names here. People want to also vote. We're going to go through these. So put Alex, and we can put Lucy, because you were not here last time we worked on this. I believe that's it, right? Mamoon's also here, so we can add Mamoon as well. So if Mamoon, Alex, Lucy, you would like to vote, you're welcome to do that. So our priorities basically are organizing the sections of the real-time session policies. And just so you know, we're I don't really know how to start this as an introduction, but we'll put it right here. So this is the real-time session policies spreadsheet. I'll put it on column 7, on line 7. So real-time session.
Time to stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Now stretch.
All right. So the goal here is kind of getting clarity on our priorities. So the first priority, obviously, is our code of communications and removals. So this policy, which I don't really want to get into a lot of details, but we did vote on it and we did pass it. If a participant of a real-time session breaks the professional communications code 3 times during a session, then they will be asked to leave. We had supportive consensus for that. So that's the first policy that we passed. It's very important. And it is very clear. If you break the communications code during a session, you are going to be asked to leave the session. Okay. Are there any questions or anything about the communications code? Otherwise, we're ready to go on to the rest of them. So the next one is aggressive behavior. Aggressive behavior is obviously against the communications code, but basically we're saying, okay, there's certain types of behaviors that need to go above and beyond the communications code, that you're not allowed to do them 3 times. You do the behaviors that are much worse than the communications code, and you're out, right? So we're going to discuss that. We have the time. I feel like time is very important. So I really want to get to this one. Interrupting, going over time, topic 0, taking too much time. All of this is extremely important. There's so many little nuances and details. We could also be showing up on time, right? Showing up on time. The structure of the session, the wrap-up, the setup, the view-up, the follow-up, the prep-up. There's 5 sections to every session. The reporting and documentations of the session. The voting and decision-making of a session. And then acting out, sleeping, not responding. And then for now, we'll just put other, but there is a bunch of other priorities. If anyone can think of any of the other ones, you can let me know. But I feel like that kind of covers what we did before. All right, so any questions so far? Alex, it looks like you voted. Lucy and Ramon, I don't know if you want to vote, but we can see if this changes anything regarding our voting.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Okay, so it still looks like we're all on the same page as far as priorities. So I would just go ahead and move on to aggressive behavior and go from there. Are there any concerns with that, focusing on aggressive behavior or like a subtopic?
No concern.
So I would start with the communications code. Also, there is a humming. I think that is Alberta. That might be you.
Excuse me? There's
There's like a loud humming that sometimes starts reverberating. Maybe it's your fan or something. I don't know.
I'm humming. Sorry. I was trying not to do
Mute. Yeah. That'd be extremely helpful if you muted. Can you do that?
Yes. The feel. It's now at this time is.
Yeah, there's like this loud echoing coming from you.
Yeah. So
I think it's you. It might not be you. I don't know. We'll find out when you mute. Oh, much better. So much more relaxing. It's like a piercing echo hum. It's so weird. Okay. Anyways, aggressive behavior. So let's go into the professional communications code. And basically my goal here is to pull out anything from the professional communications code that's obviously aggressive and that we feel should be taken a little bit more seriously than our normal priorities. All right, so we have insulting, shouting, yelling, talking over people. So I feel like that is definitely something that we should consider, right? So basically when you're not just raising your voice, but like really aggressive verbal attacks or abuse, like anything like verbally inappropriate is just like obviously a problem, especially when it's increasing intensity. Bad words, swearing, I wouldn't really consider that. Name calling, insults, again, I mean, it's so subjective.
Yeah.
Violent language, sexual language, I mean, obviously sexual, implicit language and making people feel uncomfortable or using directly violent language is unacceptable. Ignoring behavior, it's just too nuanced, it's just not really intense, picking on someone.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
So yeah, picking on someone also is very nuanced and kind of opinionated. Failing to follow instructions from moderators, facilitators, and leadership. This is an interesting one because obviously it doesn't apply to aggressive behavior, but when aggressive behavior is initiated and the facilitators, the leadership are basically saying, no, this is aggressive, you need to stop, you don't listen, I think this could be applicable. Right? If things get aggressive and things get very difficult, but they still don't stop. Gossip and rumors, again, I don't think that's really applicable. So bullying is very, delicate because you can't really call out someone for bullying if it wasn't them, right? Because you can't say that someone else is being bullied. But discrimination, possibly, harassment. I think, do we already have harassment in here? Do we not list harassment as a thing? No discrimination. I don't think we actually have harassment. Let's see. To approve initial communications code. Is there a reason why we don't have harassment in here? It seems like we would include harassment. But yeah, so discrimination and harassment are borderline. Oh, we have a separate harassment policy. Is that what's going on?
Yes, we have some very specific harassment and discrimination policies. That's why we didn't include it there directly.
Harassment and discrimination and harassment policies. Okay, so we have a separate policies for discrimination or harassment. Okay, so anyways, I think this is a good start to kind of get an idea of what we're talking about in relationship to aggressive behavior, but I feel like we should define it. So what is aggressive behavior, right? So does anyone want to try to give a definition, or should I do that, or what?
Sorry, Jay, I had linked the wrong document. Here is the correct one: anti-harassment and anti-discrimination policy that we developed recently.
Yeah, so let's take a look. Yeah, anti-harassment, anti-discrimination policy. So I mean, really, this should be linked to our professional communications code. Make sure. Actually,
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
It is linked. Everything is linked. No?
Oh, it's in the info section.
Yeah, in the info
I would
section.
but I would actually link this to the actually professional communications code as well, right? Because all the info is a lot of info, but non-discrimination, harassment, and bullying, these are obviously like part of the professional communications code. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So going back into the definition of aggressive behavior. So does anyone want to try to do a definition of aggressive behavior, or should I do it, or what?
I can give it a trial.
Okay, Lucy, go for it.
Yes, aggressive behaviors is acting like hostile towards someone. That's according to my understanding.
All right, keep going. So define hostile. You want to get very specific here, because remember, we're not in person. We are on.
Okay, I said like reacting or act in a hostile way towards any peers or anyone.
Yeah. So, but can you define hostile, right? So
Yes.
hostile is,
In offensive way, offensive
I feel like hostile is almost as complicated as understanding a term aggressive. Alex, did you want to say something? Or?
Yes, I was trying to help. Acting in an offensive way or offensive manner for some reason or without any reason at all into someone or a group.
Okay, so I feel like overall offensive communications is covered by a professional communications code, and I would say that this is not aggressive behavior, right? That being offensive is opinionative. What someone feels like is offensive and someone else feels like offensive is very subjective, right? Does that make sense? So
okay, yeah.
So overall, for me, offensive is not the direction that I would go. I think hostile is much more specific to being something that is like hostile relates to hostage, relates to like you're being, you're in an immediate situation that is unbearable, right? So being in an immediately intense situation that is unbearable.
Time to take a break. Please stop, write down whatever you were about to say, and take a break for 6 minutes.
So for me, the way I would define aggressive and aggression is through experience, like defining and understanding the experience of being in an aggressive situation. Anyways, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll continue this this dialogue with and we still want to hear more from Alex and Lucy. And if anyone else wants to go, we can add them to the list. So 5-minute break.
End
It's
of
4
break.
o'clock.
Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
All right.
Right.
Let's continue. So Alex or Lucy?
Yes. Okay. Aggressive behavior. Acting when someone acts with or without any reason at all in sort of attacking someone or a group. Also, you wrote something.
What? I know these are just copied and pasted from a website. Can you continue, or do you know what you're trying to say, or what?
When someone attacks with or without any reason someone else or a group or
Okay, but how would you define attacks?
how would I define?
Because again, when someone attacks someone else with or without reason, the question is, when did someone attack someone else? Remember, it's very easy to know when someone comes up to someone physically and physically altercates them and attacks them by punching them or hitting them or kicking them, right? That's very simple.
right.
How do you define an attack when it's a verbal attack? It's now 10 times more complicated. Is it an opinion? Is it just like, oh, it's my personal opinion that person was just attacked? Or is there actually a way to define it, you know?
Yeah. With the verbal attacks. Well, in my opinion, when this attacker raises his tone, he starts possibly yelling and with and changes maybe the context of what he's saying into and maybe I don't know, maybe in a personal, I don't know, it's really hard to define.
Yeah, but this is good. So this is like what I'm looking for, like more focused on the experience. Like the tone is changing, it's getting louder, yelling, that it's getting personal. I think these are very, very good vocabulary terms that have clarity on something that's
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
As opposed to unprofessional, right? So the professional communications code means that if you break the professional communications code, you're being unprofessional. Whereas this is not just being unprofessional, this is being aggressive. Being unprofessional, we are all unprofessional all the time, right? But being aggressive is something different, right? So it's unprofessional versus being aggressive, right? So aggressive is different. So we're defining aggressive and how it's different from just being unprofessional. So for example, being offensive could just be unprofessional. Being offensive doesn't actually mean that you are being aggressive, right? But when you say that you're raising your voice, you start yelling, you're getting you're personally attacking or whatever, that could be more aggressive. Lucy, let's go back to you and see if there's anything else.
I still define the aggressiveness.
Yeah, we're still defining.
Okay, as I said before, is like when you react to something without minding the feeling of that person, maybe through words, you say the word that hurt that person. Maybe you don't like, maybe there's some disrespect, especially when we are working, like let's say the example, like FQN, most of the time we do work before like as a team. Maybe your fellow trying to say something, this is the formula, we need to do this, and you start saying, no, this is not the right question. You don't have to shout or yell at that person. You just tell, this is not the right formula. I think this is the right way. We should do this. I think that is uh, being aggressive.
Great. Okay, cool. So yelling, raising voice, that kind of stuff. Great, cool. So let's go to anyone else. Does anyone else want to add anything? That was great, Lucy and Alex.
Thank you.
I can add something.
Okay, Alberto, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, aggressive. I like to always say, you either explain something simple, you don't understand. I mean, aggressive is what you can see in nature.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
In nature, like animals, when they become aggressive, like they invade your space, you invade somebody else's space. How do you do that? You do that by forcing your will on theirs, like don't letting them speak, becoming very loud, interrupting all the time, and then insulting, obviously, like a clear insult. Not, of course, there is some cultural insults, like this could be an insult for me, and this could be another insult, but there's clear insults that for everybody objectively are insults. So objective insulting, and then I would also add schernire. Let me get this term in English. It's very strong. When you're obviously not following anymore the conversation, but your objective is just to schernire. It's mocking, ridiculizing. When you're mocking somebody, like you're not trying to make sense anymore. You're just trying to hurt somebody. That's to me is a good definition of aggressivity.
All right.
Right. Cool. So all that sounds really, really good. So the other ones I got was like anger, right? So for me, frustration can be unprofessional and can be difficult to deal with. But when you're really angry, and more important than just being angry, like Alberto's saying, you're targeting that anger at an individual for attacking, right? Actively attacking an individual. So for me, aggressive behavior is a very personal relationship, right? To that other person. I also like this sentence that aggressive behavior is not just violating social boundaries, can also affect the relationships and the professional and most importantly, legal consequences. So when you get into threats and you get into like legal, sexual, violent language, to an individual, right? When you get into, what was the other one? So there's violent language, right? So direct violent language to an individual, like, as an example, I'm going to cut you, right? Like that is obviously, or I'm going to stab you or whatever. You're literally saying violence to that person in a sentence, right? This is a legal issue.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So when you cross the line out of, okay, this is not just unprofessional, oh, it's not just aggressive, but you're actually putting the organization at risk because of legal, like you're actually breaking the law, there's a problem. Okay.
Okay.
Also, you know, personal discriminatory or you know, discriminatory attacks on an individual would be you know, as a intentional harassment would obviously be legal, right? So for me, any legally defined aggressive behavior or attack for me is obviously goes across the line. It's not just unprofessional. It is a legal issue where you are putting the organization at risk to getting sued as a worker, right? So if you're a worker and you attack another worker or you attack a participant from the public at the level where it crosses the line of threats, you know, violence and, you know, intentional harassment, it is legal. It is no longer unprofessional. And you put the entire organization at risk, and it's unacceptable the first time you do it. Not the second, not the third, not the fourth. Unacceptable the very first time that it happens.
Okay.
So it can't be tolerated, right?
If I may add something,
Yeah.
I'm laughing, but there's nothing to laugh about. Whatever Alberto did towards Luisa, that's very aggressive behavior, for an example. And it's legal. May have. I mean, we as an organization reacted very well. I don't think we have now anymore to be afraid of on the legal side. But there is a perfect example where a worker put the organization at risk of being illegally sued. Then, thanks to our professionalism and contentious session, and our leadership, today, I think today we are okay on that side, also with incubation and everything. That's a very good example of what Jay is referring to, in my opinion.
Sure. I don't really want to go back into all of those
No, me neither.
situation because there's a lot more than just that.
Stretch.
But
Please stop,
Me neither.
stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
okay. Anything else anyone wants to add? Mamoon, you haven't said anything. And anybody else want to add anything? Okay, so nothing from Mamoon. All right. I don't know if Mamoon is actually here, so we could cut some of his network equity. But the bottom line here is that I think we're ready to summarize this because I'm hearing everything that I want to hear. I think this all looks good. So the first thing I would summarize is I feel like the most important thing as far as the policy goes is a policy on aggressive and aggression and attacks. I think those are the two things I'm hearing over and over and over, is that when you're personally attacking someone and you're being aggressive, so I would say that both the words aggressive and attacks should be included in the policy and in the name of the policy. So we're talking about aggressive behavior, right? So this would be like a policy on aggressive behavior and personal attacks, inflicting harm, damage, and abuse, right? Policy on aggressive behavior and personal attacks to that inflict harm, abuse, and personal damage. Attacks that inflict harm, abuse, and directed damage. I don't know. We'll figure out a good term for the policy, but for me the idea is that the policy is more than just aggression, that it's all about the aggression and the personal attacks. So maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe it's just policy on aggressive behavior, and personal.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
All right, so that's the first thing that I would say, is that the name of the policy should be more than just aggressive behavior. I'm hearing personal attacks over and over and over again. It needs to be personalized. It needs to be some type of attack. From there, I feel like we have a lot of really, really good words. So let's just document all of the words, the list of essential words that we want to address. So we have hostile, we have attack, right? We have aggression. We've got a lot of very, very good things. Actually, yeah, let's go through all the words. I like this. Violence, sexual, violence, sex. Let's just put sex. Abuse, discrimination, harassment. Oh, thank you.
One you can, I can, yeah.
We forgot to mention the failing of following instructions. I think that's going to come up and be important. So let me add that down here as well.
Failing on.
So we don't forget. Anyway, no, that's a separate thing. Because we ever hostile reacting. I like this, the intense situation, the immediacy, the intensity, unbearableness, right? That it's targeted, direct attacks. We didn't do attack. Yelling, raising your voice, raising your tone. I think that there's a separate kind of context. It's a personalized context, right? There's a contextual, personal context. Invading someone's space. So it's an invasion. It's a force, right? You're forcing their will. You're interrupting, preventing them from speaking, insulting, an individual personal attack, taunting, mocking or taunting someone, as a personal attack. And then there's the legal consequences. So threats, yeah. Cool. Awesome. All right. So I think we are good as far as having our list.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
So I think this is a good kind of summary of everything that we sort of went over as far as our list of words. So the only other thing I would say here is that basically you have the name of the policy, which we discussed already in terms of organizing the policy. And then I believe there is a structure that I'm seeing. And I feel like there's two primary components. There is aggression and attack. And then there's legal boundary lines. So I feel like these two sections are really like two separate sections, right? And I think the only other thing we might be able to have as a third sections would be the experience. Like we could describe the experience itself to give context. right? But I don't think that's necessary. I would say this is optional. But then what we definitely need is we need a section that clearly defines aggression and attack, and then a section that clearly sets the boundaries for the legal boundaries. And then if we want to also understand the experience, we could go into that, but I just don't know if that's necessary. Does that sound like good as far as the structure goes for the policy?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see here. So policy on aggressive behavior and personal attacks. So let's just use the same model we used before so that we have a clear structure. Policy proposal. If any participant of a real-time session, so this is the first problem here, is that we might actually have to have two proposals. So if any participant of a real-time session or, async communications engages in personally targeted, intense aggressive behavior and personal attacks
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
All right. So if a participant of a real-time session engages in targeted, intense, aggressive behavior and or personal attack during a session, then they will be asked to leave immediately, right? Immediately. So let's see if we can structure this for the other one here. I would say, if you are not sure, the leadership and facilitator can ask give a warning, right? Can give a warning, right? So, obviously, if it's clear and it's obvious, it's like immediately you are asked to leave. This is unacceptable. Obviously we're going to define in more detail. But if you're not really sure, you're not sure if it crosses the line, you give a warning, they keep doing it, they're out. Okay?
Yeah.
You give a warning and say, and make it clear this is beyond our unprofessional behavior. Okay? Great. And I think it's very important in the way that we define this, because I remember Ate was very serious about this. I think Ate is the one who kind of prioritized this as like originally bringing it up. And she was talking about just being aggressive. I mean, not aggressive, being loud. She doesn't like people being loud sometimes. And I think that in my understanding, just being loud is not enough. Like if you're being loud and it's really obnoxious and it's preventing work from happening, that's unprofessional behavior, and you can get a warning. And then if you do it 2 more times, then you get asked to leave. But it's not a personally targeted aggressive attack, right? See the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's fix the second one. So engages in a so if any participant of async communications.
I just want to say a comment about what you just said, Jake. There's a very big
Time
difference.
to take a break. Please stop. Write down whatever you were about to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
Okay, so let's take a break. I'm going to keep working a little bit on this policy. And just kind of have a section that defines aggression and attacks, and then have a section that defines the legal boundaries, and then I think this would be pretty good. Okay.
Okay.
We are getting there. So 5-minute break.
5 minutes.
End
It's
of
4
break.
o'clock.
Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
All right.
Back. Yes. Back. Yes, back.
I am here.
Good.
Okay, so there's a lot going on here with this policy. I do feel like there might be 3 levels to this policy as opposed to just 2. I feel like the first level is kind of like an aggressive attack, right? You're being aggressive, you're attacking, it's bad, overwhelming, it's like too much. Then you've got like a forced invasion, like this forced invasion that Alberto was describing for me, it sounds like an additional level. Like to attack someone verbally, you do not need to force your being into their space. It is still an attack even without invading their personal space, right? So for me, the forced invasion is another level. And then you have the legal boundary. So crossing the legal boundary. So I think that there's really 3 levels here. One would just be like an aggressive attack. 2 would be a forced invasion, and then 3 would be the legal boundary, right? That's crossed when you cross the legal boundary. So that would be kind of how I would define the 3 levels. So I personally feel like this policy is getting more. It is a bit bigger than I originally thought it would be. I think that it's more sensitive and more important than, it's similar to some of our other policies like the harassment policy and or the anti-bullying policy, where it's not just a one-liner, it's like a full page or 2 of information and details. And there's going to be 2 sets. There's going to be an entire set for an asynchronous communication and all the different processes. And then there's going to be a whole set for the real-time.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
And then there's also going to be a slight process on how to address the situation. And then there's actually going to be a slight difference of the outcomes depending if it's a level 1, level 2, or level 3. I would say, for example, a level 3, when you cross the legal boundary, that this would automatically trigger a harassment report and review. I can't remember what we called it before, but we can make sure that the harassment policy would be triggered. Like anything that's legal, it just needs to be automatic, right? An automatic trigger of review, right? In terms of anything else that's not necessarily to the point of crossing legal boundaries, it could be dealt with in the moment. It could become a contentious situation. I think it just depends on how long it goes on and who's involved and all that kind of stuff, and what the situations are. But anyways, as far as just like getting the basics down, I think it's pretty clear. Alberto was really talking about the forced will, the taunting, the mocking, like this forced invasion where you really just completely overwhelm and impede an individual's space and existence, right? You don't have to cross a legal boundary to do that, right? It is very possible to, and this also is interesting, is that if you think about the concept of trolling, right? It's similar to the concept of trolling into an organization. So if you had a group of like 5 people who come and troll our sessions and troll and just basically intensely, attack us with just spam, it doesn't even have to be personalized. It could be so overwhelming that our organization ceases to be able to function and work, either on Discord or in a main session. We'd have to change channels or do a private thing. Obviously, a forced invasion is completely unacceptable even the first time you do it, right? And so if you do that to a group or an individual, it's obviously completely unacceptable at the highest levels, right? So it needs to be clarify that this can be towards an individual, multiple people, or a group, right? So this is not towards a group. This is not towards a group. Like a demographic, right? It's not towards a demographic. It's not towards like a race or whatever. You can't.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
Yeah, so you can't be like generally racist and generally say a racist comment about a demographic of people. You have to directly have a racist attack or a racial slur on an individual and you're personally attacking them. That's what this policy is all about, right? So anyway, so I think the forced invasion is very clear. I think that the overall personal attack and aggression is pretty clear as well. So if we basically, it's hostile, it's aggression, it is intense, right? Intense as well. It can be sexual, it can be violent, it can be, yelling, be very loud, right? Anyway, so there's a bunch of different things of being aggressive. So I think we have pretty good, clear kind of, so we're going to write a little paragraph about an aggressive attack and kind of like, what happens if it occurs. And then we'll write a little bit about a forced invasion, and then we'll write about, okay, here, I already kind of basically broke down the legal.
Jay?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jay, to interrupt you.
No, that's fine.
I have a question. I understand, maybe you said you already answered before, maybe I missed it, but you want this policy to go into the document of before, right?
No, this will be its own
No?
separate document, its own separate
Document.
policy, and then it'll be added to all of our other policies related to this. So it's it'll probably end up being like a word, Word document.
Yeah, that was I was asking.
Yeah, it'll just like go over all of the details and information. So for me, I think that everything is pretty clear as far as like the policies go. The only thing that's missing that I would like to talk about for a few minutes before moving on, because I don't want to vote on this now. It's just there's way more than I thought there would be, right? It's just like, this is going to be a few pages, so it's just not the simple policy that we can just vote on. It needs to be well thought out, documented, edited, reviewed, and then we can bring in and vote on it when it's ready to be completed, right? Anyways, the point is that the problem here that I think we should discuss is what should be the consequences. So we need clear consequences for...
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Right, so real-time session like Jitsi and async comms like Discord. What are the consequences? So real-time session, you ask to immediately leave if they do this, but then what? What happens after we ask them to leave? How long do they have to leave? Are there other consequences that are required? How long, other consequences. And then in terms of the asynchronous communications, we typically have 2 levels. One is for the public in general, and then one is for like a worker, right? So if a worker engages in this behavior, do they get 2 strikes or do they just get 1 strike? Are we going to give them a timeout? A timeout for how long? Also, we could even remove people as well as a possibility, other consequences, et cetera. So I think we don't really need to think. Yeah, I'll stop there. Yeah. So if anyone has any idea on the consequences, I think that's the only thing really missing at this point. And if we have some clarity on that, I think this policy is ready to be finalized and drafted, and then we can come back and edit it, finalize it, and vote on it like next week. Or the week after.
I mean, consequences is contentious. Needs to bring it up to the team. If somebody has such a behavior that he's forced to leave a session, the only consequences that I can think of at this time is that it needs to be brought up to the team, becomes top priority for the whole team, contentious.
I mean, okay, let's write that as an option. So one option is a forced contentious situation, right? So for me,
not a forced. I mean,
or automatic.
That is forced. Yeah, automatic.
Yeah.
Automatic contentious, top priority for the whole team.
Yeah, and another option, which is that it's an automatic trigger of a review, right? Of a report and review. So trigger a report and review. So for me, there's a difference between an automatic contentious situation and an automatic report and review of what happened, of the incident, right? Of the incident, right? So for me, it's I personally like the idea of having
Time to stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, let's stretch. So I personally am all about empowerment with this kind of stuff, right? And basically, empowering the victims to address and escalate, right? So that's my preferred scope, is really that the policy is there to empower the victims, right? And as soon as you take away the power of the victims to address the situation, then you're empowering the attacker. Does that make sense? Because sometimes the best way to address a situation is to ignore the hell out of it, right? It's just like, bye-bye, okay, see you later. We're going to get focused on work. You can go be in your world. Good luck with that.
Yeah, but that doesn't solve the situation.
It might, right? Because a lot of times attackers actually want attention, right? That their goal is to force everything to stop and everyone to focus on them. So if you automatically initiate and you trigger a contentious situation, then the attacker actually becomes the person in power. Does that make sense? Yeah, and this is exactly why our anti-bullying policy, if you read it, it specifically empowers the victim. Like the attacker, the bully, has no rights. The bully cannot define themselves as a bully and initiate the anti-bullying policy. Only the victim can define whether or not they were bullied, nobody else. They're the ones empowered, period. And I'll link that here. Alberto, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, that I burst in a very, very strong laugh when you said, ignore the hell, again, go live in your world, good luck with that. So, It was really funny. Thank you, Jay.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like if someone wants to just do a bunch of BS, it's like it's fine. They can do that.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Nobody has to engage with it, right? It's like it always takes two to tango, right? If someone wants to be like, "Oh, I'm so macho, I'm so important, I'm the most masculine important person, I'm gonna pound my chest," and everyone just ignores them, nothing happened, right? It takes two to engage and make something an issue and an incident. If you just ignore them, move on, and they go away, it's like whatever, right?
It's almost like it didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, almost like it didn't happen. That's actually one of the slogans I use is as far as we are concerned, it didn't happen. Right? That's like a slogan. Right? So it's the opposite of drama and gossip. You know, oh, blah, 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 blah. This person said this person, and you're just like, well, as far as I'm concerned, it didn't happen. Moving on. Done. The drama stops. The gossip stopped because we just,
Yeah.
you know.
You stopped it. Yeah.
Why continue it when it just like, as far as I'm concerned, didn't happen. Moving on. Let's focus on something that's real. So, so again, for me, it's just all about empowerment. Our policy should fully empower the group and the individuals who feel like they were the victims or attacked. And if they feel the best thing to do is to move forward and just ignore the situation, they don't want to escalate it, they don't want to report it, they don't want to like make it a huge thing, because then that just amplifies the actual problem, right? Instead of moving on and focusing on the people. Right? So that's for me very important. So I think it's good to have a balance of those. So for me, the worst possible thing is level 3. So level 3, where you hit legal boundaries being crossed, I feel like that should automatically have a report. There needs to be some type of report in a review of that legal situation, because it's a legal situation. The entire organization is put at risk. You can't just completely ignore that. But after you review it, you can be like, okay, filing that away, moving on. So it's just reviewed by the leadership. If they don't want to escalate it, you move on. You don't worry about it. Okay. So yeah, that's it. But again, most of the time, if you're getting to this level, it should be reviewed and it should be worried about and it should be escalated, but it depends on the situation. Like, it's technically possible to hit level 1, 2, or 3 in less than a second. And if something happens in less than a second and it is never repeated again, how important is that, right? Whereas if something lasts for many, many minutes, if not even longer, like half an hour or whatever, plus it happens over and over and over again, it needs to be escalated. It is a serious, serious problem, right? That makes sense?
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
Cool. All right. So, but again, this still is not addressing the consequences. So I'm not too worried about the reporting, all this stuff, but the consequences are not the contentious situation, the reporting, the incident, how you relate to that. That is not a consequence. That is basically work, right? The consequence is, okay, you immediately have to leave, and you have to leave for 1 hour, or you have to leave for the rest of the day, or the rest of the session. I mean, remember, like, let's compare this to our previous policy. So the previous policy says that you get a warning on your first instance. Your second instance, you have policy tracking for a half an hour. In the third instance, you are asked to leave for 1 hour. Okay? So that's how the professional. So if you're unprofessional, The first thing that happens is you get a warning. The second thing that happens is you do 0.5 hours of policy tracking. The third thing you have to do is you have to leave for 1 hour. So this is real time. Real time. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So if we compare that to real time for unprofessional behavior. So if we compare that to real time for aggressive behavior, obviously number one is that you have to leave for X amount of time, or the rest of the session, right? Yeah.
Yes. So line 271 is what we already. It's the last policy. The real time policy we already passed. And now line 277, you are proposing what could be for this aggressive behavior, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So obviously number one is like having them leave for how long? Is it the rest of the session? Is it for a certain amount of time? Can they just come back the next session? The two is the policy tracking. I think policy tracking should be automatic. So maybe like 1.5 hours or something like that. But then we could also go beyond that. We could say, okay, if you have aggressive behavior and you're getting to level 1, 2, or 3, like you need to start documenting what's going on. Like maybe they should be required to write down a statement to explain themselves and explain and evaluate their behavior. Be like, hey, you need to do a quick self-evaluation, right? A quick 1 to 5 minute self-evaluation. So that could be another type of thing, right? And obviously we can escalate if it continues, right? Can always escalate if the issue.
I agree with number 3 that maybe he or that the victim, no, the problematic has to find a solution for the problem that's making him aggressive.
Yeah, it also could help. It could help vent and release. Like if they're very upset and they're just like, "Rah,"
Right.
sometimes writing down how you feel might help. But it also can make things worse. It's like, hey, maybe they shouldn't be writing it down and documenting it right at the moment, because it's like they might just say more bad things in the moment. Maybe the self-evaluation should happen later after everything's calmed down, right?
Self-evaluation should be part of like a probation. I mean, you said, Alex, the victim should do something. The victim should do nothing.
No.
The victim is already the victim.
No.
It goes to the team. The victim is the one that want to make sure that doesn't stay the victim any longer. So they shouldn't do nothing at all. I don't know if I understood well or not.
I just named
because
it.
You said the victim should. Yeah, please. Can you?
I think it was just a mistake.
Okay.
Misphrasing.
Yeah, I thought so. That's why I was asking clarification, because in my opinion, the victim is the one that we want to make sure that it doesn't stay long the victim. So the whole team intervenes and starts handling the
Time to take a break. Please stop. Write down whatever you were about to say and take a break for 6 minutes.
Just gonna finish my sentence, if I may. And I think that the self-evaluation is very important. But once that the abuser is identified and there is a team agreement that an abuse has happened very clearly, objectively, by documenting and voting and doing what we do, right? Professional work. But yes, I mean, self-evaluation is definitely something that should be required, because if the abuser doesn't do an honest self-evaluation of his behavior, of his or her or their behavior, then what are we talking about? But then we go back to to go live in your world. Good luck with that. Let's focus on something that is real.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I mean, if something is so serious that the person has to immediately be requested to
Yes.
leave, then a quick evaluation, self-evaluation, well, maybe they don't agree. Maybe they're like, I do not agree to this. I do not feel like it was this type of behavior. So then that their evaluation could
You need
be
to calm down
helpful
the situation.
for the organization as well. So I feel like, but I
No,
do
but
agree that it happens after. Like after everything calms down, then later you do the evaluation.
the self-evaluation. No, sorry, Jay.
Self-evaluation.
Let's be very clear. The self-evaluation from the abuser.
From
But
the
first, there should be immediately the team intervention with an evaluation of the situation and assessment. We already have this
Well,
workflow
no,
process
that's
under contentious.
yeah, that we have the whole
You
contentious
document the
escalate. But if something doesn't escalate and it was a
in my
mistake or
opinion,
whatever happened, or just obviously it could automatically trigger a contentious situation if someone wants to do that. But the idea is you empower the group. But I like the idea that the individual who's requested to leave gets the self-evaluation, and then everyone else can decide
yeah,
to escalate it and do further
yeah.
evaluation.
So
But I
to
do
me,
feel
there's two options.
For me, if a legal boundary is crossed, then there should be a required report to the
The self-evaluation happens only once the abuser has apologized. When the abuser apologizes, because there must be an apology. I mean,
I don't think that has anything to do with the apology policy.
No, I agree. It doesn't have to do with the apology policy, but I think there should be some sort of trigger to say, okay, now we can keep going together. But otherwise, I mean,
we already have the apology for policy.
The team agrees that an abuse has happened. There must be at least an apology.
Well, we have a model for the apology proposal. Anybody in the team at any time can request an apology.
Yes, it's true, exactly. So yeah, correct.
So that's an empowerment, right? We don't want to take
the team
away
should
power.
ask an apology for sure.
Yeah, any individual is able to request an apology, and they are empowered to do that. We don't want to take away people's power where there's a forced initiation.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I agree.
I think that this could be optional also, but let's take for example this session that or our sessions usually take at least 2 hours, right? So we take we had a discussion that escalated to level 3, and we request, hey X, please leave the rest of the session or leave for 1 hour, I don't know. And that time passes. He eventually comes online again, and I think after besides the self-evaluation, someone should ask him or her or them, whatever, if their problem there had a solution or something, like to follow up besides the self-evaluation.
Okay, so basically you're saying that leadership should go and check in on the individual afterwards if it seems necessary, right?
Yeah. After
But again, there's many different possible scenarios, but obviously in a worker relationship scenario, if someone who doesn't just leave and never come back, then we do want to check up on them, right? Individual, especially with internal workers or active. Cool. So yeah, I agree that if you're expecting them to come back regularly, if they're engaged participants, then yes, we do want to make sure we follow up with them and just make sure that everything's okay and nothing needs to be escalated. So the primary thing here is just make sure everything is calm and that it doesn't need to be escalated or taken to contentious situation. So it's best thing possible that the leadership would go check in with the individual and then immediately be like, okay, this is obviously still a huge problem. It is not calm. It is still getting worse. We need to engage the contentious situation in the conflict mediation.
End of break. Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
And then we would just immediately go into that based on the outcomes, right? So it just allows for a lot of flexibility in the situation, and it allows us to address the situation in a way that's professional and organized. Also, it's good to note that one of the times before when we had some of these issues come up, it was actually during a contentious situation. So, if it's happening within a contentious situation, I still agree that you want to check with the people and everything, but it's already intertwined and involved and embedded into a contentious situation, so it's just part of the contention as opposed to a separate thing.
Okay.
Obviously, if
Alex, we are talking about things that we know about.
already happened,
It's not something, yeah, not something we're making up. Right?
I can imagine, but we all have our own experiences, and that's why I propose this, that maybe, I don't know, I getting in a difficult situation and still haven't deal with it, and Alberto comes, Alexander, did you solve it? No, I haven't solved it. So you still need more time? Yes, give me, I don't know, 5 minutes, 1 hour, something like that. So
Yeah,
we can avoid
that's all very good. Yeah,
with the
that is all very good, Alex. I agree with you.
Right.
And I want to tell you something. This is
I think we missed the break. Alberto.
Yeah, we missed a break. Yeah. No, I just want to comment something. We're talking about something that already happened, but the point here is that we are serious people. We have the heart in the right place. So it's not as important as you fall down. No, as you fall down is not as important as you stand back up, right? Stand back up. So this is what we're doing. We're making sure that whatever happened stays in the past, doesn't happen again in the present. So that's why we are prioritizing this real-time policy, and Jay has been specifically pushed to prioritize them constantly, so that to make sure that what happened doesn't happen again.
It's dozens and dozens and dozens of unforeseen extra hours to deal with all of this, for sure. But very important, because the fact that we're dealing with it now means obviously it's going to come back in the future. We need to be prepared for it. And it's just like, it's difficult with our model of organization, because most organizations don't have to deal with this. You just kick people out. You don't deal with it. We're a public, transparent, open organization. Anybody from any culture, from anywhere around the world can come and get involved at any time. Right? So we have to have a much more rigorous
time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
All right. So I would like us to take a break, and then we still have some details to work out in relationship. So I feel pretty good for the real-time aggressive behavior, specifically in relationship to just like you cross the line, you're done for the rest of the session. We'll check on you after the session, and then we'll address, and they'll give us time to set up an immediate next session for contention or whatever needs to be dealt with, right? So I think that it does make sense that it's the rest of the session. So when we come back from the break, we just need to finalize for the policy for asynchronous communications. And then we can be done with this subtopic. I would love, I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to continue this topic, but I would love to get into the time priorities, because for me, that's the getting off topic, the interrupting, the going over time. That's where I would it would be so good to get those policies updated and organized, because I really feel like that is where we're having the most problems. But this one's obviously 100 times more important. So anyways, let's take a 5-minute break. We'll come back and continue. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think this is all super duper important stuff that we're doing right now, even though I know we're on half pay stop and then we have all these other deadlines and priorities. So hopefully whatever we decide to do when we come back from the break, we don't do it for longer than another like half hour or so. But Anyway, let's actually, before we stop and take a break, let's check in on Cobalt. We're supposed to have a Cobalt session. Where are we with our time? When does Cobalt Hour 2 start?
In 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Okay, so
Yes.
I mean, I would say that we're gonna need to make a decision when we come back. Do we want to? Well, actually, no. We need to make this decision now. So option number 1 would be to not take a break. Option 1, not take a break. Finish this up, wrap up, check out, and then come back for Cobalt in like, with a 30-minute break, right? With 30-minute break. So that's option 1. Option 2 would be
Vote. I would vote on it.
yeah, we're gonna vote on these. Option number 1, option number 2. So option number 2 would be, take a break, come back and continue with real-time session policies.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
And that basically we would not prioritize the Cobalt recruitment session at this time. Not prioritize Cobalt recruitment session at this time. So I think those are the 2 options. Is there a third option? Is there a third option or what?
Yeah, I have a third option. No break. Vote on the proposal so far. So we did a great job. I think. I mean, EJ did an amazing job.
Isn't that option number
Let's
1?
vote.
Break, finish, wrap up, check out, and then do
Well,
Cobalt.
it's not clear because finish wrap up. I don't know. I mean, I would
you're
just
saying Cobalt hours.
concentrate on the proposal, get the proposal all together again quickly. It's not rushing as usual, but as quickly as possible. Vote, then stop, wrap up, and meet Cobalt H3 for work. So,
but you want to continue. You want to continue to work on the real-time session policies?
Yeah, but not new ones. I want to vote on what we have up to now. We did a lot. I think it's okay. Let's vote on whatever there is to vote. We're in a main session, contentious main session. So let's get something real and not real, true. It's already real. Let's get something true. So let's vote on if we're ready. Yeah, we see. I mean, let's put together a proposal now. Let's put together a clear proposal on what we just discussed. Vote on it, and then we wrap up the session, check out, and I mean, let's postpone coverage 2 and coverage 3, and we meet coverage 3 1 hour and 22 minutes from now, and do work. I mean, so much work, yes. That's my option. Maybe it's the option 1. I didn't understand it, Jay. Is what we meant with option 1. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that you're saying continue with contentious situation for about 30 minutes, right?
Yes. About 1 segment.
Basically, for me, this is a definiting point. I say either 1, we stop completely, and then that's that, or 2, we keep going, and then we stay focused. For me, I don't see any reason to not stop and then not focus, if that makes sense. So for me, I would prioritize option 1.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So I'm not like totally against option 3. I just feel like option 3 is it's kind of like a wishy-washy in between, right? It's like not making a decision. It's like, oh, let's just continue and not make a decision, right?
I get it.
So for me, it's like either we stop now and we focus on recruitment and take a break and do recruitment, or 2, we continue and we just prioritize what we're doing now, continue the real-time session policies, continue the contention, and by making that decision, we're saying we're not prioritizing recruitment. So basically, I mean, the bottom line here, what I'm saying is for option 1 and 2, it's like real-time session contention continue, or we do recruitment cobalt, hour 2.5 or 3. That's the decision. Like, we can't continue the session and do recruitment during cobalt. How is that going to happen? You understand?
Yes.
So it seems like everybody wants to continue this over getting off half pay stop or preventing upfront pay stop. Is that correct?
Correct.
I mean, continue for continue, yes. Focus, continue, but I mean, with the intention to wrap it up so that we can
Wouldn't that be option number
coverage too. Huh?
Wouldn't that be option number 3?
Option 1 is not take a break. Finish this up, wrap up, check, out, and then come back for coverage 2.5 with 30-minute break.
Oh, whoops. Okay, so I made this wrong. So option number 1 is option number 1 is recruitment. Option number 2 is.
I'm reading what is written there. Reading what is written. I want to go with option 1. Let's finish this. Let's see what we want to do, but with the intention to wrap up this session. We did a lot.
So just to make sure we're all on the same page, option number 1 is focusing on recruitment for cobalt. All right, are we all clear?
Yes.
We're all clear. Great. Okay, so as far as this topic goes, for topic number 2, I feel like we just need to review the async unprofessional behavior versus async aggressive behavior. And so we do need to get the link to the policy on that. And I want to make sure that policy is in the code of conduct.
Time to stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
All right, stretch. Okay, so the task is to find the 2 policies as voted on in the spreadsheets and get them copied and pasted into the professional communications code spreadsheet.
I think that we're going to have a specific link for the async communication policy that we passed.
What we do, we just go to the notes of the session where it was approved on. Right?
Yes.
And then we copy and paste it. But I'm just saying we didn't index it, so it needs to be indexed. And that's a problem. And I want it. Because if you think about the professional communications code, that's the code that explains what is professional and what is not professional communications. Then we have the policies for async and real time of implementing the professional communications code. And so that should be on a separate tab in the same spreadsheet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Jay, makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, can someone do that?
I'm doing it.
Okay, Alberto, you're gonna do that?
Yeah, I'm indexing, right?
Wait, did you find it?
No, for now I index these nodes into the real-time session policy spreadsheet. Now I'm going to find it and I'm going to do what you just
These
said.
notes were already indexed. I already indexed these notes into the real-time session policy spreadsheet. Anyways, I'm not talking about the real-time session spreadsheet. I want it into the professional communications code spreadsheet. Okay?
Yes.
Cool. All right. I think we are good. So just make sure that gets completed properly. And that's Alberto's task. So I think we're good for this topic. If anyone wants to work on this with me in the future, we could schedule a buddy team or whatever, or we could just wait till we're a whole main session. But I think this is ready to coordinate. What's this? Everybody left?
Sorry, Jay. You mean that? Look.
What?
You mean that you don't want to vote on this now? You want to
Time to pause.
review it first?
Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Yes, I'm going to vote no on it because it's not ready. It's not what I don't agree to this. It's not organized in a professional, presentable way that the public can understand. So I want this all to be organized very professionally and put into a document so that it is easily followable by anyone.
I had already put the task in line 233 that I'm gonna bring down here.
I mean line 233. I don't understand.
This task 3, and now I put it. I copy and paste it again in 304. So
yeah, but this is not. But this is not the task. It's not the task. Is not transfer all the details in the policy in the doc.
Schedule with date.
That's not. I'm deleting that. Can I delete that? Is that fine?
Yeah. Schedule with date. Continue.
I want you to copy and paste the approved policies in the professional communications code.
No, I get that. That's another task. No, I get it.
These are separate tasks.
This would be a separate task. Yeah. What you just said. You would no. You would vote no because it's not presentable. So transfer it to a document. Try to make it presentable, right? Or you want to schedule with you to keep working on that.
Either way, if you want to work on it, you're welcome to work on it. If someone else wants to work on it, they're welcome to work
just copy and paste.
I'll work on it. I'll work on it. But we could also schedule and work on it together.
Yeah, I get it. Perfect. That's a separate task. It's not a substitution to the one that it was from before already. So, really looking forward to do that. All right. Got it.
Cool. All right. So let's go into our wrap up then. So for wrap up and next steps, obviously we need to continue with the real-time session policies. And I'm very excited that we can finally get into the time components of the policies. That's just very exciting because that's for me the thing that's going to help the most. It's all the little time details. Other next steps. We had priority for the all client plan. The all client plan is definitely something we could prioritize later today if we wanted. We also have the taxes and the deadlines updating, and then recruitment. So let's make a list.
Taxes, deadlines, updating.
Deadlines, recruitment. Deadlines. And there was one more.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
All right. So those are the 4 priorities for the work that we can go into for Cobalt.
But as long as the next steps for the contentious, we have agreement that next Wednesday, again, contentious at Drawbridge 2, correct?
Yes, unless it's the end of the month. Did we make a mistake that today is the end of the month, or isn't it almost new moon?
New moon is the day after tomorrow.
So doesn't that mean that we have to do policy tracking?
It was either methodology or maybe it was even the...
Okay, so this is why we do wrap-ups. We need to do policy tracking.
Yeah, I think it was, this is the second month of the quarter, so it's the midpoint month.
So I would assume that's like what, like...
We had the method session. Not the methods, the...
Eval?
No, usually... at the end of the month, we have the methodology session, but once per quarter, we have
the other way around. At the end of every month, we do the evaluation session. Once per quarter, we do methodology. So twice per quarter eval, once per quarter methodology.
Correct. Yes, thank you. So, but yeah, Zlati, I was thinking about something higher. I couldn't find it. So yes. methodology session is in the second in the mid. I mean, it's the second month of at the end of the second month of the quarter, right? So I think it was today. I'm gonna double checking, but I think it was today.
All right, so my understanding on the policy is that because we skipped the eval session, it would be a half an hour policy tracking for the entire team for not doing the eval session, plus an additional half an hour policy tracking for Alberto because he's the eval coordinator and was supposed to be in charge of that, which obviously didn't do. And then everyone will get an additional 2 hours if we don't reschedule.
I did 3 hours already.
I don't care about your 3 hours, Alberto. Like, that's not what policy tracking is for. Policy tracking is not like, oh yeah, I'm just going to randomly put 3 hours. Like, the purpose of policy tracking is to know the policies that you are.
No, I did 3 hours for not coordinating again.
For not coordinating what?
The contentious session.
Okay, but that's not the policy. The policy is a half an hour for not coordinating the.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Also, this could relate to the calendar and schedule. So it could be 0.5 hour policy tracking for Ate for updating the real-time session responses incorrectly. So you have to figure out a way to make sure that we're getting the sessions done properly. Maybe we can say this is 0.25 hours for Ate, you know? All right, either way, we are required under the policies to reschedule the eval session. So should we just do it next week or what?
Yeah, sure thing, Jay. Next week. Next
Otherwise,
Wednesday, eval
do
session.
additional hours of policy tracking.
Methodology session, I think.
I don't want to think anything, Alberto. Just stop.
Yeah.
Do
Sorry.
the work.
I'll
Please.
check.
Just do the work. Verify. Do the work. I don't care what you think. I don't care what anyone thinks. We need to check out, move on, figure it out, notify the team. Done. Okay.
Okay. Let's schedule eval
So
for
is anyone
next week.
against doing next week main session for either methodology or evals? Anyone against that?
No objection.
No, not against.
Okay, cool. So we don't have to do 2 additional hours of policy tracking. So I think we're ready to check out. Is there any other priorities, any other issues, anything else that needs to be addressed?
Yeah, I'm gonna communicate about that.
Great. And I will, since we're already in a contentious situation here, I'll vibes myself on getting a little frustrated there. But that is what the most recent contentious situation is on. I would like to get the link to contentious situations sheet, right? I just want to make sure we have the vocabulary correct and we're able to talk about it. So contentious situations. Where is it?
49, line 49.
All right. So we currently have no active contentious situations, and we have 3 inactive contentious situations. The most recent of which is about exactly what I just got frustrated about, which is that the work's not getting done, and people are not following through on their work, and we're paying the price for it with all these half pay stops and upfront pay stops. So it's very concerning.
Time to take a break. Please stop, write down whatever you were about to say, and take a break for 6 minutes.
But I think it's just good to acknowledge that in relationship to me getting frustrated because this is a contentious situation. All right. So this particular situation is in regards to workers not following through on their work. All right, let's, anything else anyone else wants to say in the wrap up before we go to checkouts? All right, so hopefully we'll get to all of our contentious situations. get everything organized. I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna give this session a 7. I thought it was a very good session. I felt like I just love finally getting deeper into the real-time session policies. I feel like it's just like one of the most important things we can be doing as a team. I also just like, I understand the importance of the aggressive behavior and the, making sure we have clear policies on just addressing that kind of stuff. So I think it's good. But what is going to help us get work done is the times, the policies on the time within the sessions. This is what's frustrating me the most. People not showing up on time for their sessions when they're scheduled, people just not following through with their work, people not communicating, whatever it is. That is what's driving me insane. And so I can't wait to get deep discussion and deep dive into all the policies related to time for our sessions and our work. With that said, I am ready for a 30-minute break at least, and then I'm ready to come back either at the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour. Either way is fine with me, and work on either recruitment, taxes, all of the other priorities that we had. These all sound great. What else was it? We had deadlines updating, all client plans is all just, and all the other pay stops, right? All of it. Cool. I love it. And that'll be my last session of the day. So one more session, at least a half an hour break. I'm also down with hour break. And then work. Alex.
Yes, I give the session 7.5. Like I mentioned, I can see the difference with just, I don't know, 10 days. And I'm starting to get more in details of the, I don't want to say everything, but on what I have seen. And I keep thanking, I keep appreciating your warmness and kindness on showing how to do the work.
Thank you, Alex. Great. Thank you. So I'm going to go next. Who's taking notes? You are Jay, right?
Yeah.
Jay is super fast.
Of course he is. So I'm going to give a session I came late. I'm sorry. I'm the delivery coordinator, and I feel what Jay is saying, and I've been very bad with my time lately, but I'm coming out finally from 9 years of where I saw hell in earth, so I need to. It's very strong feelings, right? So I'm sorry, guys. I'm just doing very bad with time. I need to deal with getting well, let's say, right? Because I'm finally being myself again for real, and after 9 years of me needing to stay. So I'm looking forward for life support on Friday. Really look forward for that. Tomorrow, huh? No, the day after tomorrow, life support. Yeah. I'd like to talk about it with my team, my loved ones. And anyways, this said, I'm going to give a session. It's 7.3. 7.3 only. And yeah, looking forward for this break, 30 minutes break, and let's get some work done. Yes, thank you, Jay. Check.
I'll
Lucy?
be next.
Right, Lucy.
Yeah, I will give the session 7.5. It has been a really good session. I learn a lot. I think that's the way to go. It will keep us on track. I'm looking forward to join 30-minute session for recruitment to learn on how to do ranking, because there is a priority that I want to focus on, and also learn on taxes and deadline update. That does not need me to.
End of break. Time to start. Please get focused on the session.
That does not need me to learn from anyone. It's just something that I can learn by myself. But the taxes, I just need to maybe to have session with someone, at least so that I can understand even how to get this document. It's really challenging me. Sometimes if I want to do something, I'm thinking maybe I'm breaking the policies. What should I do? Can I just do the reminders? Or is there any other model, a new model that FQN are using now? So at least I'm learning. That is why I'll have to join that 30-minute session. So I learn on doing recruitment. Even if it is for 1 hour, I'll join.
Lucy, can I interrupt you a second?
Yes.
Please don't make assumption. Please, the biggest mistake you can make is that you make assumption that you can learn something by yourself.
Okay, no
This is a
problem.
very bad assumption. Yeah, you have a team that supports you, so make sure that you schedule with your team, that you work, and you just don't try to learn something by yourself. That's the best. Until you're sure. I mean, that's not the way we do things here, right? We work as a team. We work in buddy teams. We work in real time. So schedule. You want to learn deadlines updating. There's work to do. Schedule with somebody that knows how to do it, like myself, and we do it the work. Or Jay, of course. Best
Okay,
thing
I'll
you can
go
do
next.
is schedule with Jay, but I don't know about the time, your whole work and stuff. So you have a team in general, right? Don't just go and make the assumption you can learn something by yourself. We don't make assumptions here. So let's work together so that we do the work correctly, efficiently. I mean, we pay you.
Okay, Alberto, I think we
I'm
get.
done. Yeah, we get the point. Sorry. If you don't stop me, guys, I keep going.
Well, you have to be able to stop yourself. It's not up to us to stop you. Lucy, let's
Okay.
continue because
Hello?
Alberto.
It's true.
Alberto
Hello?
interrupted Lucy. It's still Lucy's turn.
Hello?
Mamoon, please stop. Alberto interrupted Lucy and should be doing policy drive. Once we get our new policies, that will be against policy, but we don't have them yet. Lucy, it is your turn.
Yes, I'm saying I will be back for cobalt session because we'll have a recruitment. Because I want to do ranking for recruitment. I understand we have a deadline that is like coming up by tomorrow. So I want to learn on that, and also taxes and
Time
any
to
other
pause. Please
priorities
stop.
that are
Close
available,
your eyes.
so
Count
that
1,
we can
2,
push on this
3, 4, 5. Open your
deadline
eyes.
that we have and do something better. Thank you for your time, guys.
Cool.
Okay, thank you, Lucy. I would give the session 6, and we'll be working on deadlines and especially recruitment and uh, budget, payroll, and mm, and check, check.
Great. So, Mamoon, are you planning on coming back for
Yeah,
cobalt session?
when Cobalt 2.
Well, no, it's Cobalt 2 right now. So we're talking about taking a half an hour break,
Okay.
either during the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour. So it's either going to be a half an hour break or like a 50-minute break, right? So 30
Okay,
break.
I will come back at 50 minutes after 50 minutes, Jay. I'm not sure what about you guys.
All right. So is anyone not coming back? Because I heard that myself, Alberto, Alex, Lucy, and Mamoon were all coming back. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Seems so.
Yes,
does
correct.
anyone for sure want to come back at the bottom of the hour in 20 minutes?
Yes, I
I'll come
am.
back.
26 minutes from now.
Yep. Also.
Lucy, what about you?
Yes, I'll come back.
Do you want to come back in 20 minutes or in 50 minutes?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay, so everyone's come back. So I mean, what I would recommend is that we do 2 buddy teams. So we have I'll come back in about a half an hour, so it's going to be a little bit longer than 20 minutes for me. But if you 4 could set up 2 buddy teams and get focused on 2 priorities, what would they be, and who wants to work together?
I'm going to be working on taxes.
Okay, so we have one for taxes. Alberto's going to do taxes. Does anyone want to work with Alberto on taxes, and then maybe the other group can work on recruitment?
I want to make sure something though. Where is coming to work is coming where I'm going to be working, so I'm not going to spend time training, right? So
I mean, basically, at some point, it's going to be against policy, you know. So when we're on all these half stops and upfront pace.
Exactly. When I say I did a mistake the other day, so I'm going to be working. So I'm not going to be spending time answering too many questions or stopping to get on the same page.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Inhale together, 1, 2, 3, exhale, relax.
So who wants to work on the taxes? Alex or Lucy or with Alberto?
I can work taxes, but we yesterday went through recruitment.
That's fine. Well, we'll just like people can work on whatever for this for
can
now.
Do individual. Yeah, Alex, if you want to come, we can do individual work as well. Silent work. You work on recruitment follow-ups. If you feel comfortable, amazing. Then and I work on taxes. And then if you have questions and stuff, I can answer.
Right, but what is Lucy and Mamoon going to work on?
I'm going to work with Roberto on taxes.
Oh, Lucy wants to work on taxes?
Yes.
Okay, so why doesn't Lucy work on taxes with Alberto and then have Mamoon and Alex can work on recruitment?
Yes, well, it's a great plan.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, and so it's going to be about 23 minutes. I'll jump on shortly after that and check in with both groups, and then we'll go from there. Okay. I'll probably check in with recruitment first, then Alberto, you let me know when you're ready for a review on the taxes.
Yeah.
All right, I think we are done. Good.
So Lucy, see you in 23 minutes on GCFQN. We're gonna go on GCFQN, okay, guys?
Oh, I made a mistake. Can we fix the notes on the wrap up?
I'll do it.
So on the wrap up, I put a Unity. So you're doing FQN?
Yeah. I like to do FQN.
So Mamoon and Alex, you're going to be Unity. And let's set this up in the correct.
Okay, the recruitment is the work that's supposed to happen.
So let's set this up in the correct order. So Unity, Group A, and Group B. All right, cool.
QN. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right. Cool session, guys. Talk to you in a few. Ciao.
Thank you.
Ciao. Ciao, Alex. Talk to you later.
Ciao. See you later.
Ciao. Thank you. Nice to see you.